More than 200,000 people drive down this stretch of the West Loop every single day, surrounded by all the big buildings that make up the Galleria area. Next time you cruise north, take a look at this building, 2425 West Loop South, 280,000 square feet. You can spot it because it's the one with the big stage sign on the building. Longtime headquarters for a company that owns big box stores like Beal's, Palais Royal. But the investigation of this building on the West Loop actually begins all the way across the globe. In Kuwait City, home of the Bank of Kuwait, financiers of this real estate deal. On paper, this $35 million building is owned by a company called Galleria 2425 Owner LLC. Dig a tad deeper and you'll find nation's capital, based in London. The Kuwaiti National Bank loaned $51 million for this place, even though on county tax rolls, it's valued at about $35 million. The manager who signed the Kuwait financial deal is this woman, Azima Zahir. Remember that name.
Success for me is not just buying more and more buildings and sitting on income. Success to me would be doing something meaningful.
She spread her meaningful wisdom on Sharia-financed real estate deals to students at the University of St. Thomas.
Well, it's not exactly supporting Islam, but what it is supporting is a new sort of ethical way of doing business.
We're big fans of ethics here at Dolce Fino Consulting, but Azima Zahir, she's suddenly grown camera shy when we asked about her relationship with this guy, controversial Houston real estate developer Ali Choudhri. He claims he also owns 2425. What gives? We've got the transcripts from federal court. Joshua Sussberg is a lawyer for Stage. Remember the name on the building? Quoting, Jedal actually owns 2425 West Loop South.
My client, or a party related to him, is the landlord for the headquarters.
When Stage Stores went into bankruptcy this summer, Ali Choudhri wanted to buy the entire company for $10 million. Just listen to Choudhri talking about how much he cares about the little people who work there.
What I would plead the court, there are at least 12,000 jobs at stake. This is a moral, emotional thing for me and business.
Showed up to lock doors at work this morning.
Wait a minute. Isn't Choudhri the guy whose company locked Stage employees out of their offices just a few years ago? Turns out an unrepaired water leak had gotten so bad it made parts of 3 different floors virtually unusable. Stage sued Ali Choudhri for being a bad landlord. He's made quite the name for himself, quite the reputation around town. And not just because of complaints from tenants in his buildings. Allegations Choudhri inflates rent rolls in real estate deals to make a property much more attractive than it really is.
Everybody in the Houston real estate market that deals with commercial real estate knows that if you hear that name, it's a no-go.
He's absolutely the most unethical, shady, slimy dirtbag.
The bankruptcy judge in the Stage case said he knew all about Ali Choudhri. Didn't say why. Then he told him, no deal.
I've never done anything like this before.
Real estate developer George Lee was wondering where Ali Choudhri found all that money. How much does Ali Choudhri owe you today?
Today, the principal amount is $7.8 million plus interest for 3 or 4 years.
Choudhri's lawyers would disagree, but either way, 2425 West Loop South is now at the heart of their ugly, bitter legal fight. Lee has a lien on the building, says Choudhri borrowed more than $3 million to fix it up, but never paid the money back.
Because I think Ali Choudhri cheated me, promised to pay my note, and never did pay anything, and trying not to pay me anymore.
But that's not the only real estate deal where Ali Choudhri is accused of fraud. We're talking millions and millions of dollars. And that's why George Lee is now speaking out. Video captures a casual Ali Choudhri chatting outside another one of his real estate battlegrounds, 1001 West Loop South.
In my opinion, he always tell you a lie, promise you a lot, and never make it happen.
Another defendant in Lee's lawsuit is a guy named Brad Parker, a real estate executive who was chief financial officer at Jetall.
Mr. Parker, are you home? We'd like to speak with you about Ali Choudhri.
We've seen Brad Parker's footprints in another controversial real estate deal. No doubt in your mind this was fraud.
No doubt at all.
Remember Harold Polk? He spent millions to buy this 6-story building on the Sam Houston Tollway. The company, Dalio Holdings. And wouldn't you know it, there's Azima Zahir again, telling another court she's their representative.
I never met her. Always Ali representing her to talk to me. I never met with Aziz.
But Polk claims Dalio is really just a shell company for Ali Choudhri.
If anybody gets into business with him, it's like, fair warning. Fair warning. You're going to get screwed.
It took a jury just 37 minutes last March to agree that Ali Choudhri tried to pull off a scheme to take over Renee's title company. You thought the whole thing was shady?
Yes.
Choudhri claimed the jury was scared of the coronavirus and simply wanted to go home after he heard the verdict. He asked for a new trial. The judge said no. Doesn't help much that we talked with the jury foreman.
Were you scared? No, not at all.
And now Choudhri has filed a lawsuit against lawyers in the case. Not his, hers. The law firm of Hoover and Slovacek, claiming they used to be his lawyers. But who hasn't been Ali's lawyer? We counted 36 lawyers Choudhri has hired before. One of Choudhri's new lawyers is Tony Busby. Yep, the former mayoral candidate. After promising a judge Choudhri wouldn't try to block the sale of this building, Choudhri did exactly that, and the judge wasn't real happy. Another lawyer who's been on the front lines for Choudhri is Lloyd Kelly. He was in Renee Davies' case. In just 1 week, we counted 3 different courtrooms with legal fights involving the same guy, Ali Choudhri.
This is Wayne Dolcefino.
You're a popular guy. You're showing up everywhere.
Thanks for the compliment, Ali, but are you really the victim here?
Look, let me tell you this, Wayne. What you're doing is ruining my life.
Ali Choudhri is certainly tying up a lot of cords, but is that an accident or a strategy?
You can start to draw some conclusions that it's not just a bad business deal, it may be a business practice.
He likes to use the court, drag it, and he knows how to play the games because he has done it for so many years.
No doubt about one thing, keeping up with all of Ali Choudhri's lawsuits over the last decade, well, it's a full-time job.
In Pakistan, if a husband wants to initiate a divorce, all he's got to do is say, I want to divorce you 3 times.
That's how Ali Choudhri dumped his wife. Even though they were both residents of Texas, millions were spent, and George Lee claims that was the excuse Choudhri used for not paying him back. That divorce case is now on appeal.
I don't want to debate this right now.
Okay.
So let me call you when I finish up, and then I'm happy to go from there, okay?
That was August 7th, a month ago. Yes, Mr. Choudhri's not finished yet, but he knows where to find me. Maybe we can chat next time about paying taxes. Almost $350,000 is owed on this one place alone, 1001 West Loop South. And will U.S. taxpayers ever get back the money Ali Choudhri's parents are accused of owing? IRS tax liens of $27.5 million.
Would you ever do business with him again?
No, sorry, we'll never.
He uses our legal system and our courthouse to try and manipulate real estate deals and to force people to do things in his favor, like a shakedown.